Hey,
I just noticed the
everybody.
screen was orange.
Yeah, it changes from blue to orange every time. Well, except for the second time when it goes from orange to blue. You see?
I don't know that I've ever noticed that.
Better late than never. Hey, everybody.
It's only been more than a year.
Welcome to
It's
Literarily
fine.
Wasted. It is September. It is the middle of September, which means it's time for our first live discussion for the book Recursion by Blake Crouch. And boy, do we have a good one today. But let's
I want to say hi
let's
to
do
people.
some shout outs. Look at all the YouTubers coming in here. Tammy's
Hi, Tammy.
there.
Yeah.
There's Vicky and Adam and Mike says hi, imposter. Yeah,
Ryan.
we played Among Us yesterday, and I was a terrible imposter.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Jay. Hi, Emily. Hi, Christy. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Kira. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Justin. Hi, Samantha. Hi, Dan. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Vicky again. Hi, Martin. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Joe. Hi, Bethany. Caitlin. Cindy. Jan. Joe. What?
Cinda.
What did I say?
Cindy.
Oh. Nikki, Brenda, Anthony, Philip, Stacy, Bethany, Brittany.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, if you're having deja
I think I'm
vu,
good.
Boo, Philip.
Joe, back to the Heather.
well,
birds.
this was okay.
Okay.
We can
Okay.
see everybody.
I
We
caught
can
up.
see all your comments.
Okay, well, I
Um,
was trying to say hi to
And we love each of you.
Hi everybody. But welcome. We got gosh, am I excited? Boy, am I
Are you
excited to talk
excited?
about this book.
Jeff Moore, don't you dare. He just said so
Tracy.
ready to discuss the entire
What's-
book tonight. No.
What's
Okay.
up?
Also, look at that cute cookie that looks like ice cream. That's two amazing things.
Don't
in
let
one.
your ice cream melt while counting somebody else's
Aw,
sprinkles.
and it's
That's
a good
right.
message. So real quick for people like you, I'm looking at you, Jeff Moore. For real, this is very important. I know we had so many people read past the halfway point.
It was hard to stop.
No spoilers, because obviously this is a very thrilling book, and I'm sure a lot of y'all know some really amazing things that the rest of us do not know. But we are only talking up to. No, we do not, Lisa. We do not.
Go for it.
We are not talking about anything past the end of book 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't make
And
me ban you.
because I don't trust you guys to know where that is, I have a recap for you.
Oh, yeah,
Yay!
recap time.
I love recaps.
Okay, so I'm actually just going to read it because a lot happened in the first half of the book. Like a lot.
Here we go.
Okay. We got 2 point of views. We got Barry, who's investigating a suicide that involved FMS, which is false memory syndrome. He gets a tip to check out a hotel. He gets ambushed and then sent back in time 11 years, just in time to stop his 15-year-old daughter, Megan, from getting killed in a hit and run. He goes through life those 11 years, and when he gets to the point where he was sent back in the first version of his life, everyone he's interacted with in the last 11 years gets hit with FMS, with memories of their other lives. Then Barry tells his wife and daughter the truth. He goes to one of his colleagues, Gwen, and tells her everything. During their conversation, everyone in the state, probably the country, and people around the world all get FMS due to an architect changing the whole world by building the Big Bend and becoming relatively famous. At the same time, Barry gets a suicide text from his daughter, Megan. She can't handle it and commits suicide and accidentally burns down half of her apartment building. Barry goes to find Hotel Memory. Barry goes to find Hotel Memory because he's pissed. He finds it and is about to call Gwen to take the whole thing down, and then Helena stops him. Point of view number 2. This one is way shorter. Helena gets hired to develop her memory saving / experiencing chair. Her benefactor guides her into accidentally for her creating a time machine. She is horrified and sneakily goes back to prevent her and him from creating this technology.
Woo!
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
So I think we should just.
And he was her assistant.
Well, yeah, from
Yeah.
the first timeline.
Right. So he went back when he was in his 40s and became who he was.
Mwah.
Yeah.
But
That'd
we
be like
should-
Elon
I
Musk.
like it.
So maybe Elon Musk isn't really like all
No.
that.
Ooh.
He's
honestly,
just
if
like
you
in another
externalize their
timeline.
names, yeah, like Elon Musk, Marcus Slade, like these sound like fake names.
Everybody compliment Lucas on his epic
Thank you.
mustache.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone say goodbye to it. I'm cutting it off in a sleep.
My sideburns have mustaches too. I can.
I
curl
Ooh.
those,
keep, but
too.
let's not.
We should have been a word for those.
Let's not.
Side stashes.
Besides
Um, So should we just dive into like our initial reaction, and then we can try to slice and dice?
Yeah, go for it.
This is all of our first time reading this book, right?
Yes.
Is it?
Well, us four.
that I know of. I'll probably remember at the end of this discussion that I read it already.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the point where.
But
We get
man,
those
I am
things.
really enjoying this book. We're only halfway through, and I think this is one of my favorites so far because it's like twisting my brain into knots. And like for the first time, well, I don't know, maybe not the first time, but like this is the strongest that I've had to resist reading beyond the halfway point. Usually I get to the halfway point, I'm like, yes, I did it. Now we can stop and now we can have our discussion. But this time I was like, I want to turn the page so bad. But this after I finished, so I read it in like 2 sittings. Like I read the first 12%, and then I put it away, and then I picked it up and read like literally the rest of the first half in one sitting. And then like for the whole rest of the night, even in my dreams, I was like trying to figure it out, and I was like thinking about it, and I was like trying to put myself in the situation. I don't know why, but this book, like, it just got me. Like, it just got me, and like I can't stop thinking about it. And that's all I'm going to say for now before we get into the nitty gritty. But yeah.
So, oh no, Justin.
Oh, Justin.
To be fair, never mind.
Christy.
What? Anyways, I am really enjoying this book. I was able to stop at the halfway point, but it was hard. I really wanted to keep going, but I did not. And I just loving this perspective of time travel. Like it feels so fresh, and just like the fact that time travel is so encompassed, like with memories, just really got me. And I love this book, and I love how it makes you think.
Yeah, I thought for the first time in 2020.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. Can't wait to go on.
Yeah, if our noses start bleeding, Nicole says we better reconsider this discussion.
I would honestly be super afraid.
Oh, wow,
I've only
Ian.
ever had one nosebleed ever in my entire life.
I have
And I was really, really ill when it happened. So
I used to bleed like every day.
So Ian says this book might beat out Wool for me, and that's a strong take because I know Ian. We share the same sentiments. Wool is my kind of pinnacle book right now. I'm just glad we find a book that Jeff Moore doesn't have to complain about this. Seriously, Jeff, I'm really glad that you like this one. I am loving it. I agree, Christy. Like, it's a cool, different take. I love multiverses. Like, multiverses and sci-fi stuff is just one of my most favorite things. I'm just thinking of all the different possibilities. So it hooked me. I started late. I started it, and we've had so many things going on at the house that I really picked it up really Monday, I think, and I blew through it. My only complaint, and I saw somebody, I don't know who it was in the comments, talking about the audiobook. I didn't find the chapters in the audiobook to be, with the dates, confusing because they were so separate. You know, you're talking 2018 and 2008. So I call it.
It helped for me too that the dates were different people.
Different people, different dates. Also in the audiobook, you have a male and a female narrator. So that helped. And also I think having Helena actually number her days helped. My only complaint with the audiobook is it is book one as one section. So you can't skip around and go to like micro sections. But no, I'm loving it. I'm really excited to finish it. And I know Christy, this is a single book. There's no series here, right?
Correct.
So it's one of those, it's like, oh, I don't want it to end, but it's also kind of comforting to know that we've just read one book.
But I mean, if you like this book, then I would suggest reading some of Blake Crouch's other stuff. I know Dark Matter is also like a really cool sci-fi take on some stuff. So people really, really enjoy that one. Talia, what do you think? Oh no.
Oh, come on.
Okay. No. So here, let me get through this whole thing. I find this book really interesting. I am so intrigued by it. Like Christy said, this completely different take on time travel is so interesting. I appreciate how complex the story is while still being able to like actually grasp what is happening, even if it's a fragile grasp. Unlike someone else mentioned, unlike Hard-Boiled Wonderland, where it's so complex that you can't even wrap your mind around it. I really, really appreciated also the pacing of it, because as it was happening, I was like, I don't understand this, but it was fed to me in such a way that I learned as I was going on, and as I was reading, and it increased, like it started to make more sense to me. I was able to, like, at first I was really worried that I was not ever going to get a grasp of what was happening. And the way that it was dished out, I thought was really well done. It's a really great book, and I find it very, very interesting. On a personal level, I do not enjoy this. Ooh, I didn't expect to get emotional. I actually, some book club members talked to me about it too, and I feel like some other people experienced it as well. I think also this is really fresh. I'll be honest, I read the book today. So, so this is some of it. I think as a parent, it's hard. As someone who's lost people they care about to suicide, that's hard. Having lost a grandparent to Alzheimer's, it's hard. I think if I knew about the content and thanks. I think if I knew logistically from the content, I think also the timing is hard. Like, in a way, this FMS is a pandemic. So I think all of these things combined, the timing was not right for me. But that's why it's hard to separate. It's this weird thing of like knowing this is not a book I would have picked to read now. It might not have been a book I picked to read ever for myself. But I cannot deny that it is a good book. Like, it's a really good book, and I can't wait to finish reading it. But it's hard.
That's fair.
Yeah, you're allowed to not like good books. It's
but it's weird. Like, it's not as simple as like. It's something about it's difficult to enjoy, but I still appreciate it. It's a very conflicting thing that I honestly don't know how to describe.
Well, I think to that, it's well written in my viewpoint. He leaves every single memory on a, oh my God, I want to know more, and you stopped. Just like the section, I know so many people were saying, why did it have to end there? I wanted to keep going. But he ends every single memory, every timestamp with that too. So I think we can all agree that it's like, whether it's the right timing for everyone, it's well written, and he leaves you every single moment wanting more.
In regards to timing, though, the actual timeline of the book itself, I think, is so clever. I admit I had to flip back and forth between chapters to make sure that I was on the right track, especially when she went back to the office and I was like, what just happened? I love that part. There's so many things that I appreciate about this book, but it hurts too.
Well, that's one of the things that I appreciate about it in a different way, in that, like, a lot of times you get like stories about time travel, and like you're into it, and you're along the, you're on the ride, and it's like like a Marvel movie time travel where it's like, oh, this is fun, like Endgame, they went back and they saw themselves, and that is America's ass. And but like with this book, what I wasn't expecting, I think we have a lot of people chiming into the comments as well, is how like personal it is. Like, whatever Slade's reason for putting Barry into, he had his own reasons for doing it, but like it gave Barry an opportunity that it has such like a sort of a visceral relatability to it. Like Italia was saying, all the things that she relates to it. Same, right? Like, the things that got to me, some of the same things, right? Like I've had multiple family members die from Alzheimer's. So like the part about Barry's mom, but that was a different thing though. It was the Helena's mom.
Helena's mom.
But then you had like Barry's mom, and like, you know, he knew when she was going to die. He tried to make the most. That like got to me. It's like, holy crap! Like, we're talking about time travel. We're talking about like actual, like, legit implications of what it would do and like what it would feel like. And like that is something that, you know, again, I don't read a lot, but like that's something that you don't see a lot in like time travel stories, is like those like harsh realities. Yeah. I mean, there's movies like Butterfly Effect and like, you know, but like
I did want to talk about that though.
But like
I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't heard it, just the effect itself.
But it's like I don't know, like it's so personal for both Helena and Barry, more so for Barry because he's like trying to prevent his daughter's death. But which he
Helena's
does, and
trying
then
to
doesn't.
prevent losing her mom while she's still
True.
here.
So it's like, so everybody's got like a personal stake in it, and like, and then you have like these sort of forces that are like, nah, do it for like stupid reasons. But
which we don't actually
Marcus. But it's like, holy crap. Like, and it makes you, the way it makes you think is not just like, man, wouldn't it be cool to time travel? But like, would it be cool to time travel? It's like, I don't even know.
I'm kind of thinking no. I'm kind of thinking it'd be terrible.
It's like, you know, and like we you know, like, I don't know, where was I going with this? It's like things work out for Barry until they really, really don't.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, like he went back and he like improved what?
Yeah, well, we were talking about it earlier this week, and you had mentioned that, like, was he really able to change anything?
He
like,
wasn't.
He
didn't change anything.
He just postponed Megan.
It's like literally everything that happened before happened again, just in a different way, and an almost more like heartbreaking way.
Well, I mean, Megan, I know he felt responsibility for the first time, but the second time was, I mean, it's all him. It's all his fault, even if he didn't have control over
even
it.
like his marriage, like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh yeah, I can fix my marriage. It's like, nope, it was
doomed. Yeah, he said it was doomed. Yeah.
It just took longer for it to be doomed. And that, you know, I think Megan was still alive when their marriage broke up, so it didn't even have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
It was just like Megan left the house, and then they were like, what?
I found it fascinating with the whole concept of the social circles, not Facebook, he says, but that it really is. I did appreciate all of his little, like, my iPhone generation 1 and like all these little like tech gadgets. I was like, oh, I remember all that.
This is the newest book that we've ever
read.
So like it was really
like last year.
Yeah.
But so that was cool, but that was a really interesting concept to see how that ripple made a wave all of a sudden at that very moment that, you know, the person has basically died and gone back, right? And what happens and how everyone snaps in and his phone blows up that, you know, do I have false memories? Your daughter's dead, you know? And I can remember the entire thing.
Yeah.
And like when I actually like, it took me a minute to like put the Tetris pieces together, and Christy had to like spell it out for me. But once she did, it was like really the most tragic, like, I mean, there's lots of tragedy in this book, even though it's an awesome book. But the most tragic was like the realization of what Joe Berman did.
That was mine. That's the thing that I was stuck on.
Like,
is that the architect?
No,
Joe at the beginning at Montauk.
Anne and Franny's husband.
So this is what happened. This guy.
Man, I was going to talk.
Oh, you do. You do,
Christy. Shut up, Adam.
I did. Shut up.
Anne is the jumper from the very beginning of the book, and she has false memory syndrome, and she had a husband, and she had a son, and she had a business with her husband, and she had a happy life, and she doesn't have any of that. Her son doesn't exist. And like, it happened at the very beginning of the book, and it bothered me the whole time. And as we got more details about it, it bothered me more and more. The fact that Joe Berman, he he left that life with her. He left his son. He made
basically
his son
killed his
cease
son.
to exist. Yeah. He gave up this beautiful, well, what I assume was a beautiful relationship with his wife, and he even had like a business with her. Like the idea of getting false memory syndrome and like being so unhappy with it that you commit suicide is a foreign concept to me. But like Anne's story, it was a really good way for Blake Crouch to kind of highlight like how it's possible, and that I think about it all the time.
Yeah, once Christy spelled it out for me, it was like this guy went back to be with Franny and like just like destroyed this like second marriage and family that he had to go back and be with Franny. And like I was slow.
And Anne, like, I can't even imagine how that feels. And thank goodness she didn't know what really happened, or it would have been even more crushing. But clearly, I mean,
she just thought she had a disease, like a virus or something.
But the truth was so much worse.
He stole.
It's devastating. Yeah. So I don't know if I'll ever stop thinking about that situation. Actually, like I've thought about it a ton since I started reading the book, and I think I'll continue to for years.
Blake Crouch, are you watching? Look what you've done.
I mean, that's super powerful, though. Like he was able to bring out all of these emotions in us in a action thriller. Mm-hmm. Like that's crazy.
Tally and I have been to Montauk, and it's very beautiful. I'll find a picture and post it.
I've not been to Montauk.
That's the lighthouse at the very end of Long Island. When you drive all the way through the Hamptons to the very end of Long Island, you come across this beautiful little resort town called Montauk, and one of the first national landmarks. George Washington actually instated this lighthouse at the very tip of Montauk. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Well, so yeah,
I forgot about that.
So what Lisa's saying here is like,
maybe
I don't know if like,
but the architect knew.
That's true, but like,
it doesn't matter.
But this,
I'm sorry, but like, I'm sorry. I don't know. Talk.
What?
I don't think it matters.
What doesn't matter?
I mean, it doesn't matter that they would remember or not. He, in his own conscience, knew that if he went back and did this,
there'd be ramifications.
Yes, that his son would not exist. He sacrificed his entire family for this. It doesn't matter if they were going to recall it happening or not. And it's a selfish dick move. Bad Joe.
That's where
whether he knew that Anne would remember somehow or not, like he still chose a life over another in the first place. Like he chose Franny over his family.
But that's where Barry is it his fault? He didn't really have a choice. He was just trying to investigate the story, and he literally gets strapped. It's like, I'm going to kill you if you don't do this. It's like he didn't consciously make that decision.
I think he's the only one.
He's the only one.
Because everyone else is well prepared. Like the two guys we're talking about.
Yeah, they're sitting in a lounge drinking and smoking.
And Barry
was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I don't think that Barry knew either that like what FMS was really.
No, he didn't until he got back. He didn't until he caught up with the time when he died. That's when he realized what it was, and he had no idea until then, I think.
And I remember, like, Christy almost spoiled it for me because I was trying to guess.
He was guessing really good.
Because I was like, wait, does this mean that Megan is all of a sudden going to remember when she got hit by a car? And Christy was like, wait, is Megan? Wait, and she's like, stopped herself. She was like, where are you? But yeah, like this was my mind, like, the whole time I was reading the book, and Christy was there next to me while I was reading it.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun to be ahead of him on this book and to watch him read it. And every time he like put it down to like digest it, just to sit there and watch him. I mean, I haven't had this much fun watching you read a book ever.
I mean, but I was trying to like put it together in my mind. I was like, wait, because I just read the part where he went to visit Joe, and Joe was like, Franny's alive. And I was like my brain was like sideways in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Wait, what? And Christy's just like,
I was.
Except for Christy did not look that scary.
No.
no, she didn't look like the Joker without makeup. But
Christy, okay.
no, you.
Christy, I was trying to remember who was it in the question thread that brought up the butterfly effect? Because I had some thoughts on that.
Oh, let me see. I have it right here.
Oh yeah, people have been talking about butterflies and mandalas.
Mandela, like Nelson Mandela, not Mandala, Mandela.
Mandela effect.
Well, Samaire said, why does one person going back not affect everyone's future? This delves into parallel universes. Oh, does this delve into parallel universes? This might be the reason for the Mandela effect. Things we remember have happened, but in a different universe.
Like Sinbad in a genie movie.
Also, the reason for deja vu. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about.
I don't know. I feel like somebody mentioned the butterfly effect at some point, and honestly, what it made me think of is we've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm not giving any spoilers for anybody. I'm being very careful, but I will say there is something mentioned in the 7th season regarding the butterfly effect and how, you know, for people who don't know, the butterfly effect is like literally, I guess, you go back in time and you change one tiny thing and it creates this catastrophic event later because it affects something else, which affects something else, which affects something else. But in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I appreciate what they say is that it's not really that simple, and it's much more about you can make ripples, not waves. So if they're sending these people back like Barry and they're telling him, you can change this one thing, but you can't do anything drastic. You just live your life again, but better. It's ripples, not waves. And then that old dude, what's his name? Alum? I don't remember.
Or Avon or Alon.
The dude who built the Big Bend, he created waves, not ripples, and they took him out. So honestly, that was an easy, like, that helped me a lot because I really did. I think I would have gone down the track and been like, this is changing so many things for everybody. But like, I kept thinking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how their method, like their thoughts on time travel was you can make ripples, you just can't make waves. And then, yeah, all of a sudden this giant building, this giant wave is created. And what is it doing? All of a sudden, everyone in New York is like, what is happening? And now we have some major repercussions that those who have not read ahead do not yet know how they're going to be dealt with.
Yeah. So the thing that I really like about this is like even with the ripples and the waves and stuff, like most of the time in science fiction, and again, this is my limited, mostly TV shows, Star Trek. When you go back in time and you change something, it just changes the timeline. Like yesterday's Enterprise, the Enterprise C comes through the time portal. Everything changes. Like they don't even know of what the other timeline was, except for Guinan because she's weird. But like this one changes things, but like
there's still like
an imprint of the former timeline, and that is so fascinating to me because like you can't escape the past or the other the past. What would you call it? The other time, the old timeline. You can't escape it.
The one that doesn't exist anymore.
Because like you can just, and like most things, you go back and you change something, even in Back to the Future, where he's like, here's the timeline. If you go back and you change it, it makes a whole new timeline.
Cool. I love Back to the Future too.
But then old Biff goes back and gives the automat to young Biff, and then goes back to the time where he left. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, but like this one is like you change things, but it's still there in like your weird like black and white memories. Oh man.
Well, it was weird to see them like when they saw the building and even their memories started to creep into. She's like, Dad, we've eaten at that, the Bend restaurant or wherever it is. And it's like, oh my God, we have. It's like, what?
It's like they both knew it was there the whole time and that it was new and that like, I can't.
Oh, we broke him. We
broke Adam.
Put your headphones back on.
No, throw it out.
No.
Oh, Talia said put your headphones back on. Come on.
No, Lucas says throw it out.
No.
No, don't encourage that.
Don't. Christy don't like it.
Chris.
Thank you, Talia.
They're crazy.
It is.
Yes.
Really is.
Martin Sims, you're right. Party
We
on,
haven't seen it
dude.
yet. No spoilers.
Is that the new one?
Yes.
We saw it.
We saw.
Wow.
I
Is it
added
good?
to the queue.
Oh,
We just haven't
nice.
seen it.
I've heard
I've
really
heard
good things. You know, I've only
Okay.
seen I've only seen the second Bill and Ted.
What?
Once.
I've only
Once.
seen the first one.
Oh, Bill and Ted, I've
What?
seen thousands of times.
I love Bill and Ted.
Oh, okay.
That's where they go back and kidnap historical figures and make a new history report
Yes.
for them. There's no false memories there.
Put them in the
Justin brings up a
Iron
good
Man.
thing. I mean, not a good thing. A good talking point. It's not good. Yes. So the attempt to reactivate false memories that ended up
yeah.
murdering the junkie. His name was Reed. So when they tried to send him back to a memory, but it was a memory from a false timeline, and his brain went.
I completely forgot about that.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about it too. And that
Also, they killed him so many times. Can you imagine what his brain is like? How confused he must be? Like, what is real and what is not? And how do you even know which memory to go to? He died so many times. Ew.
It's not affecting his memory, just his memory. It's affecting everybody's memory. Like, how many times did Slade die to go back? And how many times, if he knows about everyone that's gone back, that means he like experiences false memory syndrome every single time. And like, if you have a massive headache and like a huge nosebleed every time, like, I'm really wondering.
That's got to do some
It's
damage.
got to do some
Your
damage.
eyes.
Maybe that's why he sucks.
Well,
I think he
I
sucks.
think he sucks for a number of reasons.
while we're talking about Marcus Slade, Julie Turner Wheeler asked, what is his motivation?
Yeah, he's got all the money.
No clue.
I think we'll find out in the second half of the book. But
we're gonna find out something about him because he's clearly like pulling some strings.
He sucks.
I think it's just a power thing. I honestly, like, at this point in the book, I feel like he just wants control and he wants to be like one of the most powerful people in the world.
Nicole, me too. Every time they say Slade, I picture that guy, Slade
I
Wilson.
haven't
He's like
seen it.
Deathstroke or something. Yeah, he's like.
But I mean, he's the originator.
But yeah, so if he's got like a bajillion different moments in time and he's killed himself a bunch of times and done all of these things, yeah, maybe he's like fried his brain and that's why he sucks because he's crazy now. Maybe he's crazy.
Well, because he was just an assistant. He was a 46-year-old assistant who.
Okay, well, he was an assistant to someone
Right, but
incredibly
still,
smart,
but
so
like
he was
he's
still a
the
smart
one
person.
that went all the way back to '92 to basically become a mogul. You know, that'd be like, you know, Elon Musk
How
or
many
Jeff
lives
Bezos.
has he
Just
secretly
saying.
lived? Is he actually like mentally like 100 and something? And he's crazy on top of that. He's a crazy old man.
Gosh, your mental age. That's the thing now.
Hold on, I need to read this out loud.
I can't.
Considering this book is called Recursion, I think one of these memory rememberers is about to go back to a remembered memory within a remember.
I don't like it. Take it off.
But nope, like it.
I do
It's not
want to.
legal here in Alabama, Mike. We can't think like that.
But I wonder how far Helena put Slade back in creating the chair, like by changing the timeline, because he was probably expecting it, and he probably took really good notes and videos of all that she did.
So I think somebody also mentioned this. It might have been you in one of the threads. Is that like the fact that she was a prisoner? Like when she realized, like I went into my head and tried to figure out, like, no, you can't. Oh, you are. Oh, and then I felt trapped, and then I was like, I hate this. Like the fact that she was a prisoner because of how much control he had over the timeline. And then when she said, like, there is only one way out, I was like,
but like it's true, like because he could go back to before she even had that realization, so he could keep going back, and she could never even realize that she was trapped to begin with.
Yeah, well, and I think this is really fascinating. Social Alzheimer's. That's such an interesting concept.
Brett hurts. It hurts me.
Yeah.
It's like, the best intentions or whatever. The road to hell paved with good.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
We didn't have to think this hard in Kill the Farm Boy. That was
No,
just called
we
goat,
did
goat
not.
pellets.
But like, at least she's taking it seriously. Can we acknowledge for a minute that she wears a locket full of poison pills around her neck?
Oh
Like,
Yeah.
She's gone full like Bruce
she's
Banner.
prepared. Although I do think it
No.
was really dumb. Like, I get that she's a workaholic and that her mentality was suffering from hiding in the Yukon. But like, for her to go back and essentially work in the same field
Yeah.
as she did before was dumb.
That was kind of dumb.
Well, and her commitment to not having the chair made like means that she had to like isolate herself from her parents, who she was trying to save one of them this whole time, and she had to give up on that dream, and that just is awful.
I'm
Yes.
glad that I know it was dumb for her to visit her mom, but I am glad that her mom had that like one brief moment of clarity.
Yeah.
But it still sucked.
I was expecting her to get like taken at that point. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, but no, I was going to mention that. Okay, she says when she goes to visit her mom that it's such a nice place and she doesn't know how her dad was able to afford it. And I was like, Marcus Slade is giving them money. Marcus Slade has paid for her mom to be there. He knows everything. So how would he not know this? He knows her parents. He knows how to find them. So when she said that thing about how she didn't know her dad was able to afford it, I was like, I guarantee it. Marcus had to have given the money somehow. He has his hand in there.
Yeah.
Don't tell me if I'm wrong. It's a spoiler, but I'll find out eventually.
Yes, Slade's people are talking about Slade's decommissioned oil rig, which I thought was a really cool way to isolate somebody that I haven't really. Oil rigs are usually something where there's a bomb on it and they're trying to do something, but to actually use it as like a research headquarters.
Worked on an oil rig.
Huh? Yeah, he did work on oil rigs. That's right. But I thought everyone that's commenting about the oil rig, I thought that was a pretty cool take. As
Well, and the fact that he kind of made everybody quit by wanting to do the murder thing or stopping the heart. Well, no, he made
people quit.
But he made everybody but 2 people quit, and I think he was trying to get everybody like had the morals to care like out of there.
Yeah.
Like his commitment to this is pretty huge too.
What did he say? He said something about making the hard decisions, like it's like steel will or something at that very moment where she goes to throw the chair, and he's like, "These are the moments." I can't remember what it was, but it was like you have to have an iron will, and like this is it. Like there's no
really snooty ball way of saying you got to be willing to kill people to get what you want.
Basically, to move to make progress. Yeah.
Oh, you just reminded me of like when I felt like my brain was going to fall out of my ear.
I know what you're talking about.
When she went to
very
throw
small.
She went to it like turns it just unravels into like a noodle and just starts to come out. But like she did the thing where she threw the chair, and then you have like a repeat of the conversation
him knocking on her door
when he came to her, and I legit was like, "Is this a misprinted book? Did I like? Am I? Did they accidentally print the same chapter over?
That's when I double checked the time. Yeah. I'm too simple for this book.
I thought that was such a clever thing for him to put in there, though. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was, you go. I'm gonna drink some ginger ale.
There's one moment that I do feel like I'm a little fuzzy on. I think it got explained. Maybe I forgot. So Barry, in the very beginning, before anything has happened, really, that's not true. This is very confusing. So when Barry is on the train coming back, no, he's in the diner.
The diner, yeah. They have like a little FMS.
So when he's in the diner, and then all of a sudden he has his initial moment of FMS, and he has these secondary memories of not reading the police report, not ever witnessing the suicide, not going and talking to Joe and all those things.
I think
that was very confusing.
He didn't explain it.
I didn't explain it. I think.
Okay.
Maybe it's going to come back.
I think Slade knew that Barry was on to him, and like this was his first attempt at getting
Did
Barry
Joe
to
do
stop.
it?
So yeah, like there's a so I
No,
just
not Joe.
I just had to try to like figure out what that meant. Is that like at some point when he had that, somebody
Well,
went
that's
back in time and
Yeah, that's what I'm
changed.
saying. Did they make Joe? Did Joe go back again to like
I
try
don't know,
and?
but it had to
I
have
don't know
been
how it.
to get him to do the investigation in the first place, because like he remembered
Oh.
not doing the investigation. His past
Maybe it was Helena. She has access to a chair because she stops him at the very end. Maybe she was trying to get him on the
it's
case.
possible, because that's what I'm saying. Like the past timeline, the former timeline is him not investigating it.
Okay,
Because
this
that's what
makes
his
me feel
memory
a
was.
lot better because honestly, it was just that one moment that I was like, "Who did it? Where did that moment came from? Someone, and it wasn't him. So someone else did it. Someone else made him relive that moment, and I couldn't tell if it was explained and I missed it, or if it did not happen yet.
Yeah, that's
It
it
has- so
wasn't
it hasn't-
it wasn't explained.
Yeah, they
So
hadn't
it hasn't been
gotten
explained yet.
It's
Okay,
deep.
great, cool.
And,
Then
you know,
I'm where I need to be then.
It's interesting that like, for him, it wasn't. Well, I guess it wasn't necessarily like a false memory in the Anne sense where he had like a completely different life. It was just him doing something different.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was
Yeah.
only a matter of hours instead of a matter of like years.
So like, he didn't. So whoever went back, they didn't go back very far for him to have like just this tiny little window of false
Clarity.
So who
False
did
memory.
it?
I think we'll find out.
So is Franny crazy? Is Franny
No.
crazy? Because Joe talks about how she remembered at some point and it did break her. So she had the same thing that Megan went through eventually. She had a moment where she was like, I died. So
Yeah. I think she just was able to handle it better.
Yeah.
And I think the fact
Well-
that she had Joe's support at that point probably made a huge, huge difference.
stressful.
Dan with the Advil plug here. You can take generic ibuprofen too.
I agree very much. The Android's Dream and Hard-Boiled Wonderland, I was not able to emotionally connect to either of those stories other than
this one has
not
it all.
liking either of them.
Yeah, this
This one-
one's the modern version of the
I don't think a lot of classic sci-fi deals with these types of things. This one though, like this one just seems to have everything. Like, a lot of times we'll have discussions like Hard-Boiled Wonderlands. Like I couldn't really identify with the characters, and like androids, it's like they all seem like wooden planks of people.
Mhm.
This one has like people that I invest in.
yeah.
Right? Like not just people that I invest in, but like scenarios that I can relate to and ground myself to. Like it's like these are like they're not dealing with like a far off future of like robots and crazy stuff that I can just picture on a TV screen. Like they're dealing with like life situations of now with this time travel thing, and it's like it's like utopia versus true
Zootopia.
realism. Zootopia, yeah. I've never even seen that movie.
It's good.
But it's like how would humans today how would they deal with time travel? And it's like it's ugly.
Mm.
It's ugly.
The world would have already burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
We would
Well,
have been bleeding.
which is a
We would have
poor
lost
choice
so
of
much
words,
blood from our
honestly, so sorry.
nosebleeds that we would all died.
If it was this kind of time travel with the FMS, like at what point, I think that the world that we're reading about is close to this point, but at what point do you just stop doing anything because it doesn't matter anymore? Like someone's going to change it probably.
Ooh,
Already, I've
there's a
already been in my house for the past 6 months doing nothing but
Man,
eating carbs. Like
that's
I'm
depressing.
already.
Oh, the book that we're talking about, the book
I know, but that's still depressing.
in that world. Yeah, but like, what does it matter? Like, I don't know. I guess you're still technically living a life, but what you do now isn't necessarily what you will have actually done. So why do anything?
Joe, that makes a really great point. 2020 has not been going spectacularly. So, Blake, this book came out last year. If he only went back 2 years to write this book, maybe this was a horrible, horrible peek into the future. And now we're all talking about it because we think it's just a story. But oh no, my brain.
Blake
I will
Crouch,
say-
what kind of demon are you?
Is anyone else like really kind of having their brain messed with in regards to all of this just being encompassed within your brain? Like, this is something that I've talked to my children about repeatedly, and now I don't regret it. But I tell them all the time that really we're all just brains. Everyone in this world is just a brain, and we're just a brain that's being moved around by a gross little like skeleton or flesh puppet. But everybody, like who we are, everything that we are, everything that we do, everything that we experience really is. It's just the gross wrinkly part that's up in here.
Crying.
I think about that all the time. So this book is really messing with me because it's true. Every single, like I was reading the pages and I would become hyper aware of my finger on the page and how the page felt under my finger. And I would stop reading halfway down the page thinking about, is this what a page really feels like? Because this is how my brain perceives it, because I'm seeing my thumb on the page, and every single thing that we do and every single thing that we see and every single thing that we feel is really just synapses firing in your mind.
No drugs.
It's already happened in the
What?
past.
We're in the Matrix. We can't tell.
We're already in
all
the
just
past.
stupid little batteries and gel packs. Like
Blake Crouch, you did it. You invented the book form of like a psychedelic drug.
He broke my head.
But like I did the same thing when they were talking about like, we don't experience the present as the present. Everything we experience is a memory. And I was like, I am experiencing now. I'm experiencing now. I'm experiencing now.
Well,
But-
no,
but
it's by the time that you're experiencing it, it's
It's
already
already gone.
yeah.
And also, like, I had a really hard time when they sent Barry back into the memory. I had a really hard time believing that it wasn't in his head and that it was actually like the world. Like, I had to ask Christy, I was like, wait, is this just time travel?
Yeah,
Because I thought that he was in like a holodeck simulation in his head now,
like reliving the memory.
They just put him in his own head, and then like he was running a new program in his like now catatonic state or whatever, in his like barely functional brain is just now reliving from that point on. I didn't realize at first that it was like actual, like you're going back into the world.
Yeah.
And like you changed everything in reality, not just like in here.
So what about colorblind people? Does that mean they're stuck in their old past lives and they can't get into their present?
I see it more as black and white versus muted grayscale.
Well, no, that would mean that you can't distinguish which is the false memories and which is the regular
There's
memories.
different kinds of colorblind people.
Sorry,
no,
Adam.
Colors.
Colorblind too.
No,
That's
Adam's
black.
more colorblind.
Yes, he's more colorblind, but you still loved my gray dress that was definitely green. Like
Not in my memory.
20 buttons and a
Okay.
strap.
Maybe it used to be green in another timeline.
No, it was always green, and y'all just suck at saying color.
I love our red logo for literally
You're the
wasted,
worst.
okay?
Stop.
Yeah. I have on a blue shirt.
Oh no.
Oh, the
What?
dress.
I
Don't
have to go
even.
back. I forgot.
It's blue and gold. It's blue and black. It's
It was in regards to
white and
someone.
gold. Oh man, yeah. Like
There were some really good lines in this book, especially near the end of the second half.
there's a commercial.
Some of them punched me in the heart.
Well,
This is after like everybody comes to terms with the time travel and like the false memories, and then Enchroma tries to capitalize.
Justin, thank you for putting the trademark. And Chroma appreciates that.
But one of the things when he was at the bar with Gwen at the end of the second half, the news came on and there was like a memory expert And she said, if memory is unreliable, if the past and the present can simply change without warning, then fact and truth will cease to exist. How do we live in a world like that?
But,
And then Gwen, she says, our minds aren't built to handle a reality that's constantly changing our memories and shifting our present. I don't know.
that's heavy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
no
one
organ.
that gut punched me right in the beginning was, I mean, I saw someone else mention before the other line about how so much of life is just a long goodbye to those we love. But the one that got me right in the very, very beginning was when Barry was on the rooftop with Anne, and he said that this moment is like, oh God, I wish I could remember the exact quote. Someone can find it. But that if your life is a book, this moment is just a chapter. Can you please find it for me? Since you have yours right there. It's in the very beginning when he's talking to her on the roof and he's trying to talk her down. And he says, there's a quote about how her life is so much more than that moment. And that really struck me. And while you're finding it, I'm going to... Oh, yes, please.
I'm standing here right now telling you I'm glad I had the strength to write it out. This low point isn't the book of your life. It's just a chapter. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Because I think there's so many people, especially when you are suffering and when you're hurting and when you're ill, you're in those moments. It's overwhelming. That is all you feel. And you feel like your entire life is that and only that. And to have someone else say it to you, yes, you can hear it, but you can't always process it. Be like, that's just a moment. That is just one chapter in the entire book that is your life. Like, this low moment doesn't go on forever. And that struck me right away. And that's when I could tell when I was reading this book. And I was like, this isn't going to be what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this is nothing like what I thought it was going to be.
Julie said, Sver, come on, man. Come on.
Get out of here.
Old Man's War. That's so done.
We already read that, don't you remember?
Out. Oh, yeah, right. It's fair. That was...
What?
We've read that twice, haven't we?
Calm down, Adam. It's not my fault that you can't remember that we already read it.
So Julie, I'm just gonna. So Julie, I put this up already, but like, this is me too, because like, when we all went into this, and the way Christy described it is like, there's this
disease, right?
Where people experience false memories. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Wonder what they're gonna do. And you were like, the scientist teams up with a detective to figure out the disease. And I was like, this is about a disease. You lied to me.
That Goodreads lied to us all.
You lied to me. It's about, but I'm glad.
Yeah, me too.
If I had known that it was about time travel, it would have really shaped how I reacted to this.
Agreed. No, it was a nice twist for sure. I do also kind of find it trippy. So, Lucas, for my birthday a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I don't really remember, I got us a spa package, and we actually went to this place and we did these sensory deprivation chambers where you float in the gigantic pods, the big white pods full of heavily salinated water so that you just float. And Lucas and I did that. So, hearing about the egg and all that stuff, and I was like, I've done that. I've been in one of those. I was in the egg. I was in the egg full of water. I floated in the egg. That was super scary. Although I will say, when I first got in mine, like, I definitely didn't close it all the way because I got really claustrophobic and scared. Because it's dark and you can't feel anything or see anything or hear anything.
I would freak out. I don't even like going into like soundproof rooms.
No, I did it. So it's supposed to like relieve a ton of pressure. And I'm pretty sure that was after my car wreck, right? I'm pretty sure that's why I did it, is I had suffered from some whiplash and I had a ton of neck pain for a long time. So I did it thinking that it was going to help with that. And then I got in there and was like,
and this is now an alternate time.
And I just like, you have this moment where I got in there and I was like, I wonder if this is what it's like to be in space.
So like
Except, not freezing and dying.
It's okay, Sver. You're good. It's all good, man. But whenever I go in like a soundproof room, And that's different. That's not sensory deprivation, but you go into a room with no sound. All of a sudden it's so loud because you can hear everything in your body moving, like your blood going through your veins and your heart and your breathing and then everything, even like the sound of nothingness is like deafening.
And the sound of you breathing, are you ever disgusted by yourself? I've heard it.
All
And you're
the
like, why
time.
do I breathe so nasty?
It's like that
I don't
kid
even
from
like-
Hey Arnold.
I don't even
Hey
like-
Arnold mouth breather kid.
Oh,
It's
God. Anyway,
awful,
where were
right?
we?
Sorry.
One of the other things that really got me while reading this book, which is interesting that like it made me think a lot, but when Helena drank the really, really good wine, I don't know if y'all remember that,
Mm-hmm.
but it said it irrevocably altered what her
That was a good
concept
line.
of what wine could be. The taste is like what all the wine she's ever had has been aspiring to be. The scales of what is good, great, and transcendent recalibrating in her head. Like,
I need some of that.
I want that experience. Has
Yeah.
anyone had that with anything?
It made me want to go
different
to
reaction.
California, but not right now. And if you're
One
in
time I
California,
had a steak in Panama City.
And did that for you?
Yeah.
It like recalibrated like what is
Yeah,
great
I was like,
steak.
this is good steak.
See, that is not where my brain went. When I read that line, especially after hearing about all of these amazing assets that were on this fancy oil rig that she was on, and now she's drinking this wine, I just went, oh, I'm poor. They're like, oh, that must be what it's like to be like super rich and do whatever you want.
we get
Like what I thought. I mean,
Mm.
you know, by comparison, like we'll never like live the Bezos life. Is this what Jeff Bezos feels? Is he just constantly like, your wine, your normal human wine is inferior to my multi-billionaire wine? I don't know. At the end of the day, it's all old grape juice, man.
Yeah, it's expired grapes, man. If a really old person went through the process to time travel to when they were really young to prevent time travel, would that default since no one can go further back?
I mean, it depends on how effective they were at preventing time travel. They'd probably have to kill Slade and Helena. But if they did those things, maybe.
Have you ever wondered if you've seen your future self in real life and they're there just kind of watching you, and they're on a time travel vacation?
I always think that like every so often I'm like, hey, if time travel ever happens, I'm going to time travel to right now.
What's happening now is happening now.
I have not come through the door, so
So Vicky's comment made me think about what about that moment with, so going back, I know that we talked about when Helena visits her mom in the nursing home. The realization when her mom is not there and she asks about Nance and she talks about how Alzheimer's is time travel of its own. She's traveling within her own memory. So instead of her consciousness traveling back in time to a younger body and affecting the world around her, she's only traveling within her own mind. So that kind of stuck with me too. Like, you know, is how she was basically on her own path of time traveling, but she couldn't travel to a younger body. She was just traveling within her own mind to her younger memories. Because I remember my grandfather, who suffered from Alzheimer's, towards the end, my mom would tell me about how he would sit at the window and look outside and he would ask my mom if she could see the soldiers. So he was like a captured slave in Japan when he was young. And that just like really stuck with me. Like mentally, it's just something I guess I can't fathom.
well, it's always been a thing with like, you know, in my experience with Alzheimer's, it's like the older memories stick around a lot longer. Like there's a lot of reminiscing from Alzheimer's patients. Again, I'm not like a doctor or anything. I don't know.
You're a fool.
Like, I didn't even play one on TV.
But like I wonder why that is.
Because
And like I said, I don't know.
it's a different type of time travel, I guess.
Yeah.
I do have to go back. I mentioned Napa Valley, and Heather said she lives in Napa Valley. So Heather and anyone else on the West Coast that's dealing with any of that,
You're safe.
we hope you're safe. We're in Birmingham, Alabama, and we've had family get hit with hurricanes today with Sally. So yeah, if you're in an affected zone, weather-wise or climate-wise, we hope you're safe and well. And thanks for even joining us. And we're glad that if you've got your first clean air in 10 days, that's fantastic. But yeah, it's a beautiful part of the country.
That's true, Vicky.
Sorry, Vicky, you made me laugh during Lucas's really, really sweet thing.
I'm a captain. Mike, you're right. Brains be weird.
Brains are weird.
No, we're weird because we're only brains, you guys. We're only brains. Everything
It's a bunch
else
of meat sacks.
is fake and useless and serves no purpose. You can replace your heart, okay? You can replace your heart. You can stop it. You can start it. You can replace it, get a new one, but you can't replace your brain. We are our brains.
Yes.
We are only brains, and it's weird. It's so weird.
Ooh, Dan.
Are
We
you
haven't heard
high?
from him. No. Wait, me?
Her, Dan.
Wait, who?
I was feeling the page, and we are only brains, you
Okay,
guys.
no, but for real, I want y'all. Okay, shut up. If you are not done reading the book, next time they start talking about brains again in the book, and they start talking about our perception of things and how nothing really exists except inside your brain, I want you to be very, very aware of how the book feels in your hands, and you tell me if it doesn't trip you out.
LSD optional.
I have never done that.
That
Ever.
you know of.
I have.
That you know of. In this timeline.
Hey,
Yeah, this is interesting.
Our nose bleeding. Yeah, everyone cool.
Yeah, see?
Are we good? Did we make it?
See, Stacy's getting deep here too. Like all we are
Oh,
is a collection of memories.
Jesus, good.
What?
I think to harken back to our friends Bill and Ted, they got it right when
see,
they.
I told you, everything's just electricity inside of a really gross pink squishy thing right up here. Nothing else matters. Sorry.
When they met Socrates,
What?
all
What
we
did you
are
just
is
say?
dust
in the wind.
dude. Dust, wind.
That's you got to watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure to get it. That's how they say his name.
Socrates. Now he's like, what?
So-
You're stupid.
So we are past
We're
the
tapped
hour
out.
mark. But so we can do want to do like, are you going to keep reading? But the answer.
But we already did. We already read it already before, so.
I can just say that I am
She doesn't like that. Nope, let her go.
very
She's going.
interested in reading on. Like it's hooked me emotionally. It's hooked me from a science standpoint. Like I'm fascinated by this story of time travel. Blake Crouch, you are a wizard. What are you doing to me? Next.
That's what I was doing. I forgot what I was doing. I
But
keep
yeah.
forgetting. Now every time I forget anything, I'm super scared about it.
Or when you get deja vu.
I don't get deja vu.
I will say, I used to frequently get deja vu as I was younger, and I've heard it's actually something you tend to grow out of. It happens very frequently, I think, because it's like your brain and your body and are like forming and still growing. But I think as you age, you experience it less and less. Because this was a conversation I had about our daughter, like
I could
with our
see
daughter
that.
the other day, because I experienced it a ton.
Oh
growing
yeah,
up.
no, and I
And
was.
she's like, I have it all the time. And I'm like, well, now I don't have it like ever. So you'll grow out of it. And then I Googled it and then I forgot what I
Interesting.
read. So, whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sigmund Freud.
Because it's your brain. It's just like synapses, like misfiring. And you're like,
So yes, if you
I dreamed the movie Hope Floats. I swear to God I did. Before it ever came out in theaters.
I invented the Oral-B indicator toothbrush for an invention convention.
No, but like I swear I dreamed that movie. And then I went and saw it in the theaters and was like, I've dreamed this movie.
Yeah. So
Let's do some announcements and stuff.
announcement.
Announcements. Yay.
Yeah.
If you stopped reading at the halfway point, which good for you, what a willpower, you are now free to read the rest of the book.
Yes.
Announcements. What are we doing?
First of all, if you donated to Literally Wasted on PayPal on our website,
Thank you.
we have mailed out the bookmarks. They are officially in USPS's hands today.
And even
So you'll get
internationally.
them
right?
in 4 short weeks. Just kidding. It's not their fault. Sorry.
Time between like 2 days from now and like a couple of months from now. So just whenever.
Yeah. And we're not done with the bookmarks. If you want to get bookmarks, you can just visit our website, literarylywasted.club. You can donate any amount. It could be like a cent. It could be 50 cents. It can be like
It actually has to be $1.
It has to be $1. Sorry.
You lied to everybody. But it only has to be $1.
And you'll get 2 bookmarks, one for you and one for a friend to share your love for your lit fan.
Or 2 for yourself if you're reading 2 books at once. We don't judge. I don't care.
Yeah, so it's just just a way to help. It's totally optional. You don't have to do any of this. But if you feel like helping us out, we can use it. So yeah, there's bookmarks for you.
And then the poll is over, guys. We know what we're reading for October. And it's not even the really scary one.
All your fault, Ricky.
I don't even want to hear it. Look, I think we did not do gore in the polls for you.
You're welcome.
No zombies. What more can you ask for?
Something not scary.
How about something wicked this way comes?
Oh.
That sounds good. Let's do that.
Softball.
That was a landslide vote there.
Yeah.
That was a landslide.
I do have to admit, I wanted meddling kids to win. I can say that now, right? Just because it seemed the least scary. That's the only reason. So
Same.
I will admit, I'm very glad that Ghost Story didn't win, because I didn't notice that quote on the cover, and then when Adam highlighted it in the video, I was like, nah.
Yeah, editing that video was me reacting to it in real time. Because I had to pull the image of the book cover to put it into the video, and on the book cover was that quote, and I pulled it and I was like, Christy, do you know this quote on the book? And she was like, well, and so just so you know, for those of you who are like on the fence, like of the 4 of us, I think maybe this one can only tolerate scary stuff. I don't do scary at all. Talia and Lucas saying no to scary. So this is if you don't want to read the book because you think it's scary, which I don't know if it is, but
we can all be scared together.
They're saying it's not too scary.
Okay.
People are saying it's not too scary.
But it should just be an entertaining live stream, because you can watch how much sleep, our faces change by how much sleep we've lost.
It's going to be so much brighter in here. We're going to do the live stream during the day.
Yeah, it's like, it's now 3:00 and I have not slept at all with the lights off. I'm a huge scaredy cat, so if it's scary, I'm not gonna like it. But I like it. But you should watch the live stream just to see us react to getting scared or not.
So I did already I added the hardback version and the paperback version, because with Amazon it's really hard to tell. They're not going to tell you what the rules are. But I did add both of them to the book of the month list. Cat, stop! You're so loud. Sorry. I added Something Wicked This Way Comes to our Amazon shop, so it is now in book of the month. So you can go there and click it if you were planning on purchasing it from Amazon. It's not any extra, but we do get like 4 cents.
Pennies. It's okay.
But it's a really, really easy way to support us if you were already planning on getting it from Amazon. And then you'll see that I took all of the 37,000 books that are in the Dresden series and I moved them into the past winners. So if you're still reading through that series, because I saw some people in the group all of the books in the entire series, that is in on the Amazon shop list, past winners. We also did add the runners up. So if you want to read Ghost Story because you like being scared, you're a crazy person, or you wanted to try Meddling Kids, those are on the runners up list. So all of that's been updated if you want to go do some book shopping.
Mm-hmm. Kent asks, are we going to do the adventure stories? So I think you're talking about adventures in reading. So if you found us through our Dragon Con content, or if you missed it, go back. We had a great time. Was that last weekend already?
It was sometime recently.
It was 2 weekends ago.
2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
2 weekends.
So we did adventures in reading in partnership with Dragon Con. They reached out to us, and it was so awesome to do that. So we We did The Worst Day of Your Life as one on Saturday night, and then we did the what was the Video Avenger on Sunday. I just got like 12 new Choose Your Own Adventure books, so we're gonna actually. Since we've done 2 already this month, we may slot one in later in the month, but we'll definitely do one in October, maybe 2. And who knows what else is going to be coming up, right?
Yeah, lots of lots of stuff going on.
All the stuff.
And more stuff to come.
Yeah,
all fun.
I feel
all fun.
emotionally drained.
So when is what's the
giant bowl of
date of our
carbs.
second live discussion?
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today.
It's the 30th.
September 30th.
It's the last day of the month.
Oh,
Hey,
right.
September 30th.
Carbs.
Tune in 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern for the final live discussion of Recursion. And yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that all the announcements we have?
I think so.
I think so.
I can't think of anything else.
Cool.
This is not a trick. Like, we're really actively trying to remember. Like, I know in the past we were like, oh, is anything exciting happening? No, we just wanted to make
This
sure.
isn't that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, nope. But we do love you guys. And thank you once again for always keeping the Literally Wasted Lounge a positive, beautiful, happy, uplifting community of geeks. We love you all. I love seeing all the interactions in there. And thank you for always keeping it a really positive and heartwarming place to be. And this
Be
is
excellent to each other.
Party on, dudes.
Thank you. You didn't do it. You didn't do the thing.
Jay says Geekword. Go if you like video games, go find us on Geekword and our Geekword Game Club. We do the same thing that we do with Literally Wasted, but with video games. So
You want that
that's a
Amazon
good-
link again? Boom.
Yeah, there's that Amazon
There you
link.
go. Amazon.com/shop/literarily wasted. And it should be it's somewhere in the lounge. We need to make it more visible on our pages. We'll work on that.
we can add it as an announcement, right? And
Yeah.
pin it to the
We
top.
can pin it.
Yeah, and we'll add it like to our about section on our Literally Wasted page or something like
It
that.
is. It's on the website.
It's on the website. Basically, any book you click, it goes straight to.
Oh, I meant on the Literally Wasted Facebook page.
No, the
Yeah, it's on the
Facebook,
website link.
So yeah, so check it out and fun discussion. Good night, everybody. See you next time, not tomorrow. Bye.
You might see him tomorrow.
Same time, 2 weeks.
We already saw
Bye.
you.
Ew.